phenomenal geeks, anime mistress of the dork, Dave with a unique perspective. You can join the show on the website at geekworldradio.com. Begin.
Hey guys, you're listening to Geek World. We are your superhero superhosts, anime, mistress of the dork, and the man who never stops talking, Dave! Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with us, you can send us an email to geekworldradio@yahoo.com, and be sure to check out our website, geekworldradio.com, for all the great stuff that's there. Check out all the stuff on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/geekworldradio. Be sure to subscribe because we put up cool things.
We do, yes. So, we have a fun show today.
We do.
So, we love the folks over at Funimation. They're awesome, they always put out awesome stuff. They bring out a lot of Japanese movies to the American market, especially ones based on anime.
Yeah, so that means like the actual anime movies as well as the live action versions of anime.
So a few years back, they brought out the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie, and we got to go see that, and we really, really enjoyed it. And just a few weeks ago, we got to see the North American premiere of the sequel, Tokyo Ghoul S. And so that's what we're talking about today. We're doing a little review. And
before
the review,
do you know when the movie comes out so that these fine people can see it in theaters?
Oh, do I? That's exactly where I was about to go with that. So thanks for that. Thanks, you got it. You got me right there. You're like, you set me up in a really great way. It'll be in select theaters in the U.S. and Canada, September 16th, 18th, and 20th. So there you go. 3-day limited theatrical run.
And you should be able to get your tickets through Funimation.com.
Funimation.com, yeah. You know, and this is a really good model they do, too. You know, they do that with Broly. And that went really well for them. And I just love that they do this. You know, I think that it's so cool to be able to see these movies in theaters.
Yeah, the other thing is that in the past, when these movies have done particularly well, like when it's like all packed theaters, they sometimes add days.
Yeah.
So it's
pre-order your tickets now.
But it's very worth supporting like this kind of thing, because if you want to keep seeing more of these come into theaters and you know, and you want the chance to make it to like future ones.
I was thinking it's cool to go to a theater too for something like this. I mean, I guess you could just, download it or whatever, or, buy the Blu-ray when it comes out, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's really cool being able to see them in theater, especially because, like, at the end of the day, like, there's movies you're going to see in the theater, but when you get to see ones that are a little more special like this, I think, you get a better experience, I think, frankly. So I'm all in it. So we watched the Tokyo Ghoul live action movie 2 years ago, the first one, and overall, I really liked it. It's not an anime that we watched.
No, but it actually turned out to be totally fine, because the first live action movie was kind of a quick retelling of the entire first season from what we were told.
Yeah, and I really liked it. I mean, there's elements of it that aren't exactly my thing, but overall, I really dig the world. I really dig the powers that the ghouls have. I think it's just a really, really kind of like cool world.
Yeah, well, this is an anime that I had seen like ads for like back years and years ago, and I remember seeing them and being like, that's so cool, like we should totally watch this. And it's just one that like it just slipped through the cracks for us, one that we never really got around to. But it's always kind of nice when these live action movies come out, because it forces us to sometimes like watch things that we haven't watched when any of the Funimation movies come out.
It's got a pretty fervent fan base.
Oh,
too.
yeah, for sure.
We really, really like it. So we like the first one, but now this is the sequel, and this is Tokyo Ghoul S. Now, if you are familiar with the anime, this is based on the gourmet storyline from the anime, and I gotta be honest, like, I really, really wasn't sure what to expect when I walked in. I knew that it was going to be, I knew the bad guy was going to be, eating a lot of, people.
I mean, as they do.
But man, I had a great time watching this movie.
Yeah, it was really funny.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things where, like, there are certain roles that are meant to be played over the top.
Well,
you know?
Yeah.
Like-
well, do you mean the movie, or do you mean the actor who is playing?
No, I just mean like there are certain roles, like in general in
Yeah.
anime adaptations
Yeah.
that are meant to be over the top.
Yeah.
And when they're done right, they just hit you like just right and make
Right.
it so enjoyable. And
Yeah.
and like this movie was full of that.
Yeah, there are a lot of roles like that. I mean, it's the same actor who plays Kaneki, and he's pretty good at that role. I mean, he's a character that is supposed to be really
Kinda
not a
lame.
strong guy.
Yeah.
He's kind of exactly. He's not a tough dude.
He has a very strong power, but he doesn't really like to use it. And so
and also, the character of Toka is actually played by a different actress in this movie. It is now Maika Yamamoto replaced Fumiko Shimizu. So there you go. But basically, at the very beginning of this movie, we're sort of back in with Kaneki and Toka, and they're doing their coffee shop thing, and then at night, Kaneki's like training because he wants to be a good guy. He wants to help humans. But also, ghouls are also being targeted all the time by the CCG. And so he also wants to be able to fight against them, too. And so that's kind of where we start this sort of, remembering. But then we pretty quickly get into the primary villain of this movie, the Gourmet. And his name is Shu Tsukiyama. And oh my god, I gotta be honest, this freaking guy, right, who not just the character of the Gourmet, but I also need to say Shota Matsuda, who plays him. I mean, what? Oh man, he made the movie.
he
for
really
me.
did. Like, it's funny because it sounds like you're being sarcastic right now.
No, I am not. This guy, and the award goes to this guy. It goes to what you were saying with, like, it is an over-the-top character in an already kind of over-the-top world, and he just sells it, man.
Yeah, he just went for it.
I loved every minute that the villain was on screen. I was, like, into this movie. I think the guy is, like, perfect as this sort of, like, just, like, ridiculously over-the-top, like, snobby, kind of, like, super evil villain. Like, just, like, next level bad dude.
Practically twirling his evil mustache.
And man, I just, like, I was really into like everything about him. So the very beginning of the movie is really, really good. And basically it's takes place in the apartment of this famous fashion model named Margaret. And she shows up, and all of a sudden there's this, like, freaky guy, there, who's, the Gourmet. And, you get to see his, what is it, Kagume? Is that what it's called? What's Kagune? Yeah, his Kagune, which is like a crazy... So the Kagunes are like these crazy, like, blood powers they have, and they make, like, weapons. Like, Kaneki has, like, tentacles, like tendrils. And the Gourmet has, like, this giant drill arm or something.
But now, let me actually take a step back.
A step back?
Yeah, because...
I was explaining something.
I know, but it made me realize, like, that some of our audience doesn't know Tokyo Ghoul.
Oh, yeah.
And so like... Let's just give you a small intro to... So there's ghouls and there's humans.
Yeah.
Ghouls are not made, they're born.
They're born, yeah.
So, like, two ghoul parents get together and make a ghoul baby.
Yeah.
Just like two human parents get together and make a human baby.
And ghouls are known in this world. It's not like certain vampire worlds where they're like, hidden. Yeah. Like, it is now... And individual ghouls eat people. Now, individual ghouls are not, like... It is known that ghouls exist and that they are a species, but they are not public about being ghouls because they will be hunted down and killed by humans. So there's this underground world of, like, the ghouls all having their own ghoul society, but also pretending to be humans in the real world.
And some of the ghouls, like, they don't murder people.
Yeah.
Now, our main character, Kaneki, he's an interesting case because he was on a date with what turned out to be a ghoul.
Yeah.
That ghoul ended up getting killed, but he was pretty maimed at the time.
Yeah.
And his organs and like stuff ended up getting replaced by the organs from the school.
Yeah.
Supposedly without anybody knowing this was happening,
Right. But maybe there's more to
Yeah.
it. But the idea is that Kaneki was a human up
Kaneki-
until this point.
And so Kaneki becomes something special
Yeah.
because all of a sudden, even though he's a human, he's also a ghoul, and and he can use the kagune that the girl ghoul that he got the organs from had used, which is a really powerful one. But it's not like it's something he's been doing since he was young. He's really like learning how to ghoul.
Yeah, and because he is a manga/anime hero, of course he is not interested in eating people or eating human flesh.
Yeah.
So he's got that sort of like, that vampire thing, like Angel or like Louis from Interview the Vampire, the reluctant vampire essentially. Though they're not vampires, they're essentially vampires.
Yeah.
So that's the essential world, is that like Ken. Oh, it's also Ken. We can just call him Ken. But I like to say Kaneki.
Yeah.
He basically is between both worlds, where he is half human, half ghoul, trying to live in the ghoul world but also protect innocent people from evil ghouls.
And like the ghouls, he can't eat like normal food. The only things that he can have are like blood and stuff and coffee.
And coffee. Yeah, he drinks a lot of coffee. I'm like, I could be a ghoul.
Yeah.
This seems easy. You just drink coffee all day. It's literally all I do anyway. So how's this hard? Okay, so now back to the actual film. So basically, we got the gourmet. He's a bad dude, right? And then he ends up, going to the coffee shop and meeting Kaneki. And then the movie is this crazy sort of like... it's almost like a bent romantic movie / some kind of weird obsession movie, because the gourmet becomes obsessed with the scent of Kaneki.
It's kind of like Suki.
It's kind of like Suki, yeah. And basically, we spent a big chunk of this movie him essentially trying to ensnare Ken so that he can eat him. He wants to eat him. And so we get this main character.
It gets real weird.
It gets real weird. And so you got your main character who is like this ghoul hero trying to be in both worlds and also trying to learn like martial arts and how to, use his powers in order to stop bad ghouls. And then you got this ultra powerful rich ghoul who is trying to seduce / eat him.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's nuts. Like, the movie is like so freaking bizarre. And that's why I had to start off just like commending the performance of the gourmet, because this guy, a lot of this movie is him being weird.
It's funny because it's like the like you said, it's like a seduction, and it's sexual but completely not sexual.
Yeah.
Like it is, he is obsessed with Kaneki, but like, and it feels like everything is kind of sexual, but it's also not even remotely.
Yeah, because you understand that it's really nefarious ultimately.
Yeah, and it's not like sexual in a I want you. It's like he gets a pleasure from what he eats or who he eats.
Well, he's all
gourmet.
about gourmet food. That's the whole thing. And there's like actually some
and by gourmet food, that's parts of humans. Thigh of a vegan.
Yeah, thigh of a... Well, there's a few really funny scenes where he's being served like gourmet food of pieces of human and like different sort of Epicurean ways, and it's really great. And then the movie's just like, it's pretty nutty. I mean, it's really violent. It's funny in a lot of weird ways. There's one scene where they go to this like ghoul club, and it was tense. I was like freaking out during the scene. I was like, this is really too much.
Yeah. Now, we brought with us a friend of mine who's a really big fan of Tokyo Ghoul.
Yeah.
The great thing was she loved the movie. She had such a good time.
Yeah.
So it is the gourmet saga, but it's also not.
Also not, yeah. They kind of, I think they took the character, but they sort of altered the story.
Yeah, so it doesn't get into some of the super hardcore stuff that happens in the anime, and that sort of changes some of Kaneki's personality traits.
Which I feel like is going to be like the third movie.
I mean, I think that makes sense.
Like
I think this is kind of
what they're going for.
Yeah, this was a good choice for this movie.
Yeah.
But it'll be interesting to see how they work that stuff in. But this is sort of like, what happened to him here, you can see as sort of a precursor to what will come.
Yeah, and there's some decent action in this movie too. They start off with like a cool martial arts scene, and then then there's some horror stuff going on. But there's in particular like a pretty long fight near the end of this movie that's like pretty cool, and the CGI also is pretty darn good. I mean, all things considered, we've seen a bunch of Japanese live action anime movies, and it can be all over the map.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good CG, sometimes it's and this actually has some really good stuff. I love the ghoul eyes. The ghoul eyes are so dope.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I would watch this again, and I gotta be honest, I think that I like this movie better than the first one.
Yeah.
And I think mostly because it's just like funny.
Yeah.
It's like really crazy in like a way that's like special. And
when
we say funny, I don't want to be like, oh, this is like dumb or anything, because it's not. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
It has moments that will genuinely make you laugh.
Yeah.
But it's also like, sometimes that laughter is just relieving the tension.
Right, because it's a super tense movie, too. That's the thing. It's like, man, it is... I will say this, guys. If you go see this movie in the theater, September 16th, 18th, and 20th? Is that what it was? Oh, I almost had it. I almost sounded cool, but I wasn't. I wasn't.
Just to play off on what you were saying, I also...
16th, 18th, and 20th. I was right.
I think I enjoyed this one more than the first one.
Yeah.
But if you're not familiar with the anime, if you haven't watched the anime, but you still are interested in watching this film, I'd say watch the first live action one. Yeah, because it gives you an introduction to who these characters are and what the deal is with the world.
I 100% agree, and especially because they're pretty good, all things considered. Especially when you look at Japanese live action anime films. I will say though that. You're not, if you do end up going to see this in the theater, you're not really going to see anything like this in the theater, maybe ever, or certainly not this year. It is just, I cannot underplay how nutty this movie is. It is so bizarre, but in like a really entertaining way. And I'm really glad that we saw it. I mean, I just had a really, really good time.
Yeah.
But, other than that, I don't even know what to say other than the fact that it's nuts.
Yeah,
it's this crazy ass movie.
It's an interesting world. I like when I like the way that anime plays with worlds.
Yeah.
It's like you said, it's like they're kind of like vampires.
Yeah, kind of.
But also kind of not. It's like, you can't bite someone and turn them into a ghoul.
Right.
The fact that Kaneki is a ghoul or half ghoul or whatever, that is unprecedented in this world.
Well, and that's the other thing too that's really interesting about the story is that in general, Kaneki's biggest worry is being found out as a ghoul, because he wears an eye patch because one of his eyes is like permanent ghoul look, and so if people see that in the real world, he'll be killed for being a ghoul, and so but he's never had to worry about someone wanting to eat him before. He's had to worry about the CCG. Those guys try to kill him if they find out he's a ghoul.
Yeah.
But this is like a whole nother weird thing, because ghouls don't eat other ghouls. Ghoul flesh tastes rotten to other ghouls. But because Kaneki is like half human, that's why the gourmet is so obsessed with him. And yeah, and that's the other thing too. It was nice to have a character that was really threatening. The thing about the government guys in the last movie is they were cool, but it's like the Agent Smith Neo thing. There was kind of there's this separation that's neat, but they're kind of a lot of business.
Well, yeah, I mean the first one was really about Kaneki dealing with this new world that he was a part of, and and knowing that there was this looming threat out there, but not not really having to deal with it.
Yeah, and but man, the gourmet, he is something. I was getting genuinely concerned for Kaneki, mostly because he's not a strong character.
Yeah.
I mean, Toka, she's strong.
She's strong, yeah.
She's really badass, but Ken, not as much.
You know, the one thing that made me sad, though, is that at the end of the last movie, Kaneki got his mask.
His mask, yeah.
Which is, like, that's
His
sort of
thing,
an important
yeah.
part. It's like the thing that you would probably recognize, you know, if you're, even if you're not familiar with the anime, it's probably an image that you've seen.
Yeah.
And like, there was no mask in this one.
Yeah.
Toka had hers, but and like, you know, that came up once or twice. But like, yeah, Kaneki didn't have his, and that's sad.
It is. I think that people are still. I think, you know, there is a lot of discussion about, you know, when he's gonna be like badass, you know, Kaneki. But I feel like they put a lot of challenges in front of him this movie that I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that I was like really into. But yeah, no, I recommend this movie. I had a great time.
You know, the other thing that this movie did for me is it made me want to watch more of the anime to get more of the character building.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, because like, it made me more interested in the world and more interested in the characters. The first one I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel as compelled to like to watch, you know, to watch and get the development, because actually the first one did a good job of like developing things, but this one it's like, oh, okay, I want to know more now. So
I agree. You know, I will say too, I didn't like the very, very, very beginning of the movie. They had like a bunch of stock shots of, well, not stock shots, but they had a lot of shots of like Tokyo, and it was upside down. It was kind of quickly cut, and I felt like it wasn't. It's weird because the movie is actually shot well and edited well, and it's just that opening scene I didn't like. So if you start watching it, don't worry about the opening scene. It gets cooler. But once they get to the scene,
and now the man who never stops complaining.
But when they get to the scene with the model, that was a terrifying scene.
It really was.
And once again, played so well by that actor. Man, he is great.
Yeah.
Killing it.
Right?
Yeah, no, this movie's dope. So, so anyway, that being said, if you guys want to, I would say if you're a fan of Tokyo Ghoul, and if you want to, and especially if you're a fan of anime and want to support live action films, especially ones made in Asia.
Yeah, and if you want to support just like having more anime and anime related films coming to theaters.
Yeah. Also, frankly, if you just want to, like, you know, have a good time and see something weird as hell that frankly feels special because it's so kind of deranged and interesting and weird, I would also check it out. So it'll be in select 400 theaters across US and Canada, September 16th, 18th, and 20th. You can go to Funimation.com to get tickets. Tokyo Ghoul S.
Yeah.